Good afternoon, everybody. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Good. We still have a few people entering the room. So while they're getting in and getting settled, if you want to put in the chat something positive that has happened this week, we always love to celebrate those positive moments. So we'll give them just maybe a minute more to get in and get settled. And just as a reminder, we are recording today's session. Awesome. Yes, if you've been seeing Christy's Throwback DECA Month posts on our social media, she's been enjoying doing that. She's celebrating DECA Month as if it were 1991. So that's been a lot of fun as a DECA alumni for her. Liz says they're finally going back to distance learning. Congratulations to Mr. Reedus for getting Teacher of the Year. And I don't know who iPhone 2 is, but congratulations on finishing your first day of accreditation. So that's awesome. Awesome. Edmond North is doing their North Star Angel Tree. I know Katie talked about that at our last state officer meeting. She was really excited about that. Very good. Yes, I agree, Jana. It's always good to actually see people in person and not on the computer. It's just not the same.
No, it was on the computer. We just went to
virtual. Okay. Oh, okay, there we go. Well, at least you're getting to actually see them.
Yes.
With their video on and all that, so that's good.
They're still alive. They haven't responded to any emails for 2 weeks, but they're alive.
There you go. Yeah, a big celebration. Natalie said that her students showed up for their Zoom meeting, so that's a big win. Okay, well, it looks like everybody is in. Everyone's settled. So we'll go ahead and get started with our announcement. Oklahoma DECA's 2021 Career Development Conference will be hosted virtually. This decision was not made easily, but due to the rising COVID-19 cases in our state, the increasing travel restrictions being placed on our chapters, and the need to plan a safe, socially distant, quality, and financially sound conference for all of our Oklahoma DECA members, we have made the difficult but necessary decision to host virtually. While I do not have all the answers right now, I can guarantee to you all that every competition will be offered and that we are going to attempt to virtually recreate as many conference experiences and opportunities as we can. I know this is disappointing. I am also disappointed. When I told the state officers of this decision last week, we spent some time expressing our feelings. We vented, we appreciated what we still can do, and we celebrated what we were able to do with this new format. My only request for you all at this time is that you grant me the month of December to come up with the game plan for how things will be packaged, delivered, and conducted in this new virtual format. While we are hoping to maintain the same deadlines that we've already published, and while the way your students compete might be different, the topics and content will not. They can still prepare, they can still practice. Registration will not increase, and if possible, we will lower it. We are finalizing some demos and contracts with several different companies to create the best virtual CDC experience possible, and I will release more information as I have it. State Council 78 has chosen a theme for this year's CDC that will be released via social media in the next coming weeks, and I know your students will be excited to see that. I will now open up the call for questions. You can put your questions in the chat box or you can ask them out loud. I can tell you guys right now that we, let's see, Zoom versus Google Meet. So basically what we're looking at is maybe a combination of things, because we know that everyone has some restrictions with their school districts and things like that. We're working with DLG primarily because that's what you all know, and we use for registration and testing and written events. So we're working with them for their competition platform, and I've been working with Josh Schenkel from Texas, getting some of their input. One of the positive things to us not hosting regional and having a later state conference is that I can kind of contact all of the association advisors and see what went well at their regional conferences and, you know, what didn't. What do we not need to do in a virtual situation? So I'm going to be following along with that so that, you know, if we can learn from some of their mistakes that they're making at their regional conferences or borrow some of their really great ideas, we can do that. DLG has 6 different options for presenting role plays virtually. So we're going to be demoing all of those, I think, on Monday, and looking at what will be best. We have to consider all of the possibilities. We still have students who are completely in school. We have students who are, some schools that are hybrid, and then we have some that are completely virtual. So the decisions that we make, students have to be able to do it wherever they are. So, but yes, if you will let me know if your school district has any restrictions. I do know, you know, Edmond schools can't use Zoom. So they've let me know that. So I know that I need to be looking for some options. If your school has any restrictions like that, that we can't get approved for a couple of days or a workaround of any sort, let me know, because we really do want to try to make this as workable and as easy for everyone to use as possible. Any other questions?
The date will remain the same.
Right now, what we do know is that that date will probably be the day that you all turn in projects and that we allow judges to start grading them. What we may be changing will be the length of a window for people to schedule live role plays if we do it that way with judges, so you have a bigger window so we can meet more schedules. And then the awards will probably be changed, and it will probably be similar to how we did the FLC celebration, where we push it to live in like an evening or an afternoon, but you can go back and watch it. So award session will probably change just because we will typically have to, with virtual, you have to have a little bit longer time for judges to grade and get through everything. Brandy, as far as registration lowering, that I'm not completely sure. I'm finalizing. Hosting virtual is a little bit expensive. So when you take, it's just like having an in-person conference. We're going to pay for our competition platform, which is kind of our hotel rooms. We're going to pay for any filming that we have to do for awards. We will be paying for like a promotional video if we do that. If we do any sort of add-ons, like as far as products, that's going to be up for the state officers, and most likely will be an add-on to your registration. So we're going to try to make the registration cost as low as possible. But there are still some costs associated. I'll know more probably mid-December once I get all of those quotes from our companies. Once they know exactly what we're doing, which role play option I choose, and all of that. Okay, are there any other questions? And of course, if you think of questions, feel free to email me But my hope is throughout the month of December, I'm going to be meeting with these companies, start building platforms, and kind of come up with a really good game plan that once we all enjoy winter break and take that break away from all of this virtual kind of mess, then we can come back and get ready to get started, and you'll know exactly how your students need to be scheduling, their presentations or submitting things, practicing if they're going to be doing it via Zoom or Google Meets. That way you can get into those platforms and practice. And I understand how important that is.
I was just going to make a comment or just ask. I'm having a real problem. I don't see the majority of my students, and I'm not getting a lot of participation. I usually take a lot of students, and at this point, I just feel like students have I call it their feet in the mud, can't get going. So I don't know if everybody else is having that problem. And if so, then I would think that our participation this year will probably be low if you guys are having the same experience as I am.
And we honestly are expecting it to be fairly low. That was part of the decision as well, is that even if we were able to host a socially distant and safe conference in person, were we going to be able to afford our venue with the number of students who could attend, with travel restrictions and who have joined? I mean, everything's low this year. Membership is low, engagement's low. So we expect it to be low. So, but I know all of you are doing a really great job. We're almost to 900 as far as membership. So that's really awesome, especially for this year. Okay. Are there any other questions that I can answer right now?
I probably know the answer to this, but I wanted to ask what the word is from nationals. I know they've made the virtual decision on all educational conferences, I assume, but I don't know if it's been announced to you all. Is ICDC for sure virtual as well?
It has not been announced to us, and they have told us that they will announce that in December. So we'll be looking for that. They gave us that date when we went to CAM. And so that's kind of the date that way we're not always asking. We're just waiting for, December. Now I don't know when in December. The last that I knew, though, they still had not been in contact with the hotel in Anaheim. That the hotel in Anaheim was not open. So that's the last that I knew. I'll keep you guys updated. And then, of course, if you're not receiving those DECA Inc. emails, I think I got one today. Let me know, and we can get you added to that list.
And even if they weren't virtual, how many of us could actually go? Our districts probably wouldn't even release us. So it just makes sense to go virtual, sadly, but.
And that's what a lot of the look is. And if we can go, will our numbers change so that we can be socially distant, and our allotments for how many we can send, that kind of thing. And then I also know there's some states that just aren't allowed to go as a whole state. So I will keep you guys as updated as I can on that one.
Thank you.
However, if you have been participating in any virtual DECA Inc. Conferences, they have done an outstanding job. I've been impressed with everyone that we've attended. They really are making it a really positive experience for the students. If you're not participating in Power, you still have a little bit of time left to do that. And I'm assuming that they'll leave some of it open past November. They have the rest of their conferences, but it's really great content. Our state officers have loved it. And I know any advisors who have taken part in it have enjoyed it as well. And it is free if you had your membership in before October 31st. Okay. I'll stay on until the last person leaves in case they have a question they want to ask me. But the only deadline I have to remind you guys of is the state officer applications. They're due on December 1st. And we'll have our virtual screening on December 15th. So we're looking forward to that. Other than that, I wish you all a safe and restful Thanksgiving. And until we talk Have a great rest of the week.
Bye.